I think we'll see another 100-inch bag in this tournament. I really, really think that we'll see another 100-inch bag.
All right, welcome to the Kayak Bass Connection podcast. This is a pre-game version of the podcast for the Crossroads kayak team event. So what's interesting is we've got 5 of our best fishermen from our club, Southern Illinois Kayak Club. It's about to go head to head with 30 other top anglers from across the United States, 7 different teams with 5 people in each team, about to meet at Cedar Lake in beautiful Illinois. So I'm very happy to have 3 members of our team on the podcast tonight. We got Jonathan Kessler, Kevin Cox, and Darren Himker with us. All of these gentlemen have earned their spot on this very coveted team because this is something that you guys look forward to all year, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've been hearing people talking about this all year. Hey, I just want to make Crossroads. I don't really care where I finish in the scheme of things. I just want to make Crossroads. So which one of you have actually participated in this event before?
I did. I fished it. This will be my 3rd year. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. So what can they expect at Cedar Lake?
Basically, it's the same as our stick, but a whole lot stiffer competition. It's there's really good anglers in this, and all the other clubs that come to this. It gets really, really tough.
Okay. Yeah, and you've got some a really good variety of different clubs that are going to be here. Let me bring that up real quick. Here's a list of qualifying organizations that potentially could have teams there. We've got the Topwater Nation out of Michigan. We've got the Michigan Kayak Trail, also out of Michigan. Upper Peninsula out of Michigan, kayak anglers. So we've got 3 potential teams from Michigan that could be showing up. Southern Indiana Yak Anglers are otherwise known as SIAC. And you have the Indiana Kayak Anglers, IKA, I'm sorry. And then our Illinois' own Kayak Bass League. I know they do Illinois and Wisconsin tournaments. And then, of course, our club, the Southern Illinois Kayak Club. So we're going to be lucky enough to be hosting this event this year. Now, that can be a blessing and a curse. It kind of depends on how well you know your home water, right? So before we get started tonight talking about the actual event, I want to see how well you guys actually do know Cedar Lake. So I've got a few questions I wanted to pose to you guys, and let's do a little trivia. You guys up for that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So how many acres of water are on Cedar? How many acres of water is Cedar Lake?
1728 acres.
1728, Jonathan says. Kevin, what do you think?
I thought it was 7.
Darren? Can't be Googling it. What?
I'm going to say 2,000 just to be different.
Oh, man. Kevin, what was your guess? 1740? Man, you were close. The official is 1750. 1750. So it's kind of like the Price is Right? You just bid a little bit above.
Story of my life. I'm always just a little short.
Just a little short. All right, now here's a little more interesting statistic for us. Of the largemouth bass collected during the 2022 electrofishing sampling by the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, what percentage of those bass that they electroshocked were over 18 inches? What percentage was over 18 inches?
I'm going to go with 18%.
Jonathan's in for 18. Kevin, what do you think?
I'm going to say 23.
All right. Darren, what do you think?
Pretty sure Jonathan's right, but I'm going to say 17 just to...
Oh, boy. You were so close. It was actually 19%. Jonathan was just 1 percentage point off. So that's a heck of a percentage for big fish. There's just not many lakes in Illinois you're going to be able to say that about. All right. Speaking of big fish, what is the largest bass, according to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources website? What is the largest bass in pounds caught at Cedar Lake during a tournament in 2022? We'll just round it off Now let's just go pounds and ounces. Let's do that. Pounds and ounces.
Last year was a down year, I think, for Cedar.
Okay.
So I think the biggest fish they recorded was probably 7 pounds.
7, 8. Kevin, what do you think?
I'm going to say 712.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was a 10
Yeah.
too, if I'm remembering correctly.
About 21.
Boy, that's a good memory. That was actually 10 pounds, 10 ounces.
Was it
10 pounds, 10 ounces weighed in at a bass tournament in 2022.
Yeah.
Made
It was
headlines.
110 and then a couple sixes, right? A couple sevens.
Yeah, there's some good sized bass, but that one was just a monster.
Yep.
There was 3 or 4 over 10 and 21. I didn't remember there being a 10 on that last year.
Yeah.
Talked to a
All
guy.
right,
at
here's
the
a
boat
simple
ramp the
one.
other day. He showed
What'd
me
you
a
say?
picture. I talked to a guy at the boat ramp on the south, and he showed me a picture from the north ramp. A lady was holding a 9.8, massive, and she caught it during June. It was a 9.8 in June. Yeah.
Wow.
There's some big
she
ones
probably
in
took
there.
it home for dinner.
Nope, she let it go. It was an IDNR off or work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. All right. So for Cedar Lake, what's the average depth? The average depth of Cedar Lake. Jonathan, what do you think?
I'm going to have to go with the average depth, 28. With 28 feet.
28 is average. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably.
Kevin, what do you think?
I would say close 24. I'm not real sure.
Okay.
I'll say 22 because I think it's right around.
According to the IDNR website, 14 feet is the average depth. I thought that sounded awful shallow from what I saw there. 14 feet. All right, here's an interesting one. Of the facts that makes Cedar Lake unique is that they have some unusual fish stocked there that often run into tournament bass fishermen. These fish can exceed 20 pounds. That some of these tournament bass fish are accidentally stumbling into these huge fish. What are they?
Striper.
Does anybody know?
Stripe.
Stripers, right? And not just stripers, actual striped bass.
Striped bass.
Yep, striped bass. I thought that was pretty neat.
And they
all
line
right,
up in the fall, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some caught at Crossroads.
Yeah, that would be a memorable experience hauling a 20-pound striped bass. All right, so now one of our teammates, one of your teammates that actually is not on the podcast tonight, couldn't make it. Dalton Williams, he won the last September tournament at Cedar Lake. So in 2022, Dalton won the SIKC tournament at Cedar Lake. What was his 5-fish total?
84 and a quarter.
Hold on a minute. Jonathan, what was it?
I was going to say 85.
85 and a quarter. Darren, now what'd you say?
Said 84 and a quarter.
Kevin, you want to jump into this mix?
I think Darren's right.
86.75.
Really?
86.75. Jonathan's on a roll here. Jonathan is on a roll. All right. So the last one during that same tournament, 23 anglers participated. How many total fish were caught according to Tourney X?
This in 2022 or in our tournament?
In 2022, that same tournament, yes.
45.
23 anglers. According to Tourney X, how many fish were actually
No,
caught?
I'll round up. I'll go 50. I think 50 total.
All right, Darren?
I'm going to say 85. I might
I'm
Kevin,
going
what
to
do
go
you think?
66. 66.
Kevin, you said 66, Kevin?
Yep, 66.
All right, Kevin got that one. Actually, 68. Really close. Really close. We did have some people with zeros, had a couple of people with threes, a couple of fours.
I think there were only six limits, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's 6 limits that were caught that day.
I
All right, so
I caught
I
17
know I didn't
stripe.
get a limit. It's the only tournament last year I didn't get a limit.
all right, guys. So obviously you're getting ready to head into some pretty stiff competition, maybe from what you used to during the year. We're not going to give away any club secrets here, but let me ask this question: is the fact that this is our home base, is it a blessing or a curse?
I'm gonna say curse, and that's because I love Cedar fish. I think out of Crossroads people, I probably fish Cedar the most. I could be wrong on that, but take a guess at that. And it's a challenging lake come fall time, and so I think that the fish move, and I think we may be a little bit overconfident going in because of that fall transition and things. So I hope not, but it can be tricky in the fall.
Okay, and we're getting a lot of cool nighttime temperatures. Even I'm quite a bit farther north in Illinois than you guys are, and it's really cooling off at night. So, Darren, what do you think? Think the blessing or a curse?
I'm gonna say a blessing and a curse, but more of a curse because, like he said, they're gonna change. I mean, we have all our baits that we typically catch fish on in Cedar, and I think if we're not catching fish on them, we're all gonna just be so stuck in our ways, we're not gonna change up our baits. What I think is gonna end up happening, but if the fish are on our baits, I think it could be a blessing because I think we could put up some serious numbers with us.
Okay, now you're personally I think had the biggest bag I've ever personally seen on Cedar. And remind me what that was, and it was just this spring, right?
Yep, it was in the spring. I caught 100.75, 103/4.
100 points. So you broke the century mark. Okay.
Yep. My two small fish were 19 and a half and 19 and a half, and then I had 3 over 20. I culled out. Well, I probably caught 10 fish over 18 inches that day. That was a crazy day.
Man.
And second place was like 10 inches behind you too, so it wasn't like it was just
no, it was an epic. Reese had 94. Reese had 94.
Yeah.
And then
he was happy with 18s.
Was anybody else over 90? Yeah, it was like 2 guys over 90. It was an epic day.
Austin was at 89.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that day very well because it was a very stormy day, probably the windiest day, one of the windiest days I've ever fished. And I zeroed, and I thought that I was going to some spot nobody else would go, and I didn't see anybody all day. Turns out because there wasn't any fish there, but you guys whooped me.
You know, we talk about how friendly we are in our competitions, and I'll be honest, I ran into Austin about 10 o'clock, and I had my limit already, but it wasn't a big one, but I had my limit. And he's like, man, I only got one fish. I'm really struggling. I said, you know, you need to tie one of these on. He walked away and then went and beat me by about 2 inches.
There was about 2 hours left in the tournament, and I told Nick Tipton, I said, here, put this on. Tie this on. And I told him right where to cast, and he cast up there, and he got snagged up. So I'm right next to him, so I cast up there anyway because he wasn't going up in there yet. So I threw up in there and caught an 18 and a half right in front of him. It was like, oh my gosh. And then he caught his limit a little bit later, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah. So let's just talk in general on Cedar Lake. If you're someone coming, we got at least 3 eligible tournament trails from Michigan that might be coming down here. What can you just tell them about the area that you'd kind of like to know if you were a guy headed out and maybe done your usual map reconnaissance, but really hadn't put feet on the ground yet?
I wouldn't recommend staying. Don't stay in downtown Carbondale.
Don't stay where?
Downtown Carbondale. Unless they want to go to Walmart and get a new kayak to fish the next day.
The one thing I'll say this, I don't think I'm giving anything away when I say that the lake is very diverse, I think, in comparison to a lot of other lakes that we fish in our normal series in Southern Illinois. So whether you want to fish like steep bluffs or you want to fish shallow areas, it's got it all in that sense. And so, it's an incredibly diverse fishery for Southern Illinois. It's kind of like, it's all 3 of those lakes that are next to each other, very similar. Devil's Kitchen and grassy, and cedar. Cedar is just happens to be the one that produces, I think, out of the three the most. But they're very diverse fisheries with a lot of different types of shorelines. Definitely.
Yeah, you literally can be
Yeah.
fishing those beautiful bluffs and fishing grass too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right
like Kessler said, you can go in the back of some of these creek arms, and you can go way up in some of these creek arms and find mud banks with grass and great habitat for bass sometimes. But then you can go out deep and fish some of the bluff walls and rock points, and there's all sorts of stuff where these fish can certain times of year they're on certain stuff. It's really going to be anyone's game because we don't fish cedar enough in the fall to know exactly what's going on. So it really could be anybody's game. If the fish are out deep, the people that are up north that know how to fish deep water a lot better could come down here and tear us to shreds. But we just gotta find out.
I
It was a good
agree with
opportunity.
you. I agree with you, Darren. I totally expect to walk away from this learning quite a bit just from these other guys and the way that they fish. It's just proven if you watch, the Bassmasters or the MLF, these northern guys, they know how to catch smallmouth, but they don't have any trouble at all catching largemouth. So I really think that we'll probably learn quite a bit from these guys.
Bring the whole arsenal. It's fall fishing. If there's one thing that I know about fall fishing that I think is kind of beneficial to the home team, it's that it helps to be on the fish because they move a lot in the fall. So if you're on them and you're kind of paying attention to where the bait fish are going and which coves the bait fish are in, you're probably in a little bit better shape than everybody else. But when it comes to tourney day, it's 1,700 acres or whatever we said, 1,750. So it's small enough to really pre-fish, get out there and find things pretty early. It's not like it's 10,000 acre lake or anything. So it's appropriately sized, I think, for this type of an event, and I'm really excited actually to kind of showcase because I do think again, this is me, the homeboy in me kind of shining, but I think Cedar is one of the best bass lakes in Illinois. Maybe not in just like raw numbers of fish, but in terms of quality of fish in diversity, unique. So I'm kind of excited to show that off to everybody.
Absolutely. And one of the big pluses is it's got a 10 horsepower limit for outboards. So we don't see a lot of the big boat tournaments there. Like you do someplace like Newton, you see those a little bit more, or like Shelbyville, the big boat tournaments. But
I think Kincaid is one of the ones that may not have a limit because I see a lot of recreational craft out there. That one is always a little bit of a pain. I think St. Christ and maybe even Newton have a 25 horse limit, so you do see bigger boats, but I may be wrong on Newton, but I will say, yeah, it is nice and quiet. You see some guys out there, and you do see more and more guys coming out there with kickers and things like that because it has gotten that reputation. When you start putting double-digit bass in Southern Illinois, we start putting double-digit bass on the fishing reports and things like that. You get a lot of people out there. But I do think Cedar is at a point where it's like kind of peaking. I think it's just the density of large fish has gotten incredibly well. The IDNR, testament to them because I think they manage it really well. It's very there's the boat fishermen might disagree with me because of the protected slot, but it helps us. It's really an incredible lake to fish. It's a great opportunity to get to catch big fish. So. Especially after
that makes a big difference tournament wise. That protective slot when you're just doing catch, photo, release.
Yeah, some of us might say that the boats ought to really adopt that. It'd be an opportunity to make.
Their fishing might get better. Everybody's fishing would get better.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine how big a fish would grow if there was no keeping fish on you all day long. And I wish there was lakes that implemented no keeping fish over 20 inches. Because I think there could be some gigantic fish if they would do that. I don't mind. I mean, I don't like people catching and keeping an 18-inch fish, but it doesn't hurt as bad as watching somebody keep a 21 fish. That really hurts to see because that's an old. That's
even if they're just
8 to
keeping
10
it reliable for 8 hours.
Yeah, it's
like
super hard. That water was 88 degrees, I think, was the warmest I saw this year. It was hot water. It's not easy on those fish to be in the live well for. They catch it first thing in the morning, 6 o'clock, and their weigh-in is not till 3 o'clock. They're in that live well for 8 to 9, 10 hours even. It's so hard.
That's tough. Yeah, very tough. All right, so hey, before we came on the air tonight, there was some trash talk going back and forth. You guys are supposed to be team members, but one of our team members that didn't join us tonight, Dalton, he kind of threw down the gauntlet, Darren. What do you think about that?
I didn't read what's the last text say.
I think he just said he's going to whoop you.
Yeah,
Did he?
At Cedar Lake. That's pretty much what I read.
Based off the last tournament, I'd say otherwise, but if he thinks he can beat me, we'll see it. Last year, Crossroads, he came in with 4 fish on day 1. And if he would have came in with 5 fish, we probably would have came home with a win instead of a second place. So I'm not saying I held up my end of the bargain, but
Man,
respect for
Some
respect
team-
too, in the sense that like
he did put up some giant.
KBL always puts a competitive team out there, the Northern Illinois team. And,
yeah.
I think last year, for those that don't know, SIKC finished second overall to KBL. Not to bring up sore memories, but I think we were 3 fish short on a 2-day limit. And I think some people might still be a little sore.
2 fish short.
Oh, 2 fish short of a 2-day limit for the team. So that's the whole team. So.
Wow. We got some good memories on this team.
Yeah.
Kevin, are you sure you want to get involved with these guys?
Well, I don't know. I'm just going to have to make sure I catch a limit, I guess. I don't want to have to go through this next year.
I think at the end of banner last year, our final, we were about 7 inches behind KBL at the end of it.
7 inches.
We put up a hell of a day too. We put up 416 inches between 5 people. We put up a really good day on a tough day of fishing.
Yeah.
KBL, we beat them on day 2, but they ended up having a 2-day total. It was 7 inches bigger.
Nice.
But it was a lot of fun.
Did you say
I
you
think
got
that's
second? You got second overall last year, Darren?
No, I got 5th overall.
I think Dustin took second or third last year.
Dustin took 4th. He beat me by a quarter inch.
Before.
Because I may or may not have forgot to have my wristband in the fixture, and that costed me Angler of the Year last year. I had him beat, but
You
I
won a
took the
fish here,
picture.
though.
Fish go and didn't have my identifier in the fixture, and that would have cooled up a half an inch. I would have beat him by a quarter of an inch, but
Oh man,
that one hurt.
That did hurt. Okay, I think you hit on it, Darren. It's going to be fun, and as much as we want to win the competitions, I think that's an important thing that our club's going to bring to it. Is everybody that does show up down in Southern Illinois is going to feel welcome there. We may not be throwing them our favorite bait in the middle of this tournament, but certainly if anybody has any problems, we'll be trying to help them out and do whatever we can. So, go ahead.
I do expect to see some really big bags out of this. I expect first place to probably be close to, if not over 180 inches. I think it's going to take 90 inches both days to hit first place overall.
Yeah. We talked strategically about 80 inches. If everybody on the team hits an 80-inch limit, then your team is statistically over the course of any of these tournaments, you have a really good chance to win. But I think with Cedar specifically, I think one of those days you're going to need several guys with 90-inch bags. I think it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be very. You're going to need a high average and push-ups. Sure.
Big fish.
What's that?
Any predictions on big fish in the tournament?
I think somebody's going to catch a 22, maybe a 20, maybe like 22 and some change.
I hope to see a 22.5 inch fish.
Yeah. And it could be the craziest thing is if you ask me what they're going to catch it on, I would have no idea.
No, they're going to catch it on a crappie jig off a brush pile in 40 feet of water, but something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say that if you remember, before we had this tournament, I predicted that this last one was going to take 93 inches. And there
I held up. I held.
Yeah.
Instead of 86. I was
I
right.
totally think that I think we'll see another 100-inch bag in this tournament. I really, really think that we'll see another 100-inch bag.
It's very possible because, like, the fall transition will be just about through, I think, and I can't predict exactly where it's going to be, but I think there's a possibility that things turn on and it's going to be a really big day for somebody.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully everybody. It'd be neat to see 5 people put up 95 inches or better. That'd be a crazy cool tournament for Illinois.
Yes,
That's
it
putting
would.
up south numbers. I mean, you see that down in like Florida, Louisiana, and stuff like that. You see 90 to 100-inch bags consistently. If we can see that on Cedar, I'll be happy. I just hope Cedar doesn't shut down and only put up like low 80s. I'll be upset if that happens because Cedar's it's a really, really good body of water, and I want to see it perform how good it can. Maybe not 100 inches for other teams, but for us.
You're okay with your team, though, right?
Yeah. The other thing to remember is that, we fish individually. Boats fish in pairs a lot at the amateur level, and we fish individually pretty much all year. And there's a unique opportunity because this truly is a team competition. So anglers teams are strategizing, communicating throughout the day, communicating beforehand. Whereas before you might play things close to the vest or joke about what's working or what's not working. There's always that question before one of our tournaments in group chat, which is like, what's the temperature out there this week? What's the water temp? And somebody might say you don't know if they're being honest. But when you have people that have the opportunity to coordinate and I think work together and fish as a team, and strategize across the entire lake, I think you even increase the likelihood of seeing really big bags. And I also think we're doing some cool things this year while we host, where we're going to have some people. Hopefully, we're going to have some people out on the water that are documenting. I think some of this is what I've heard. So, we have a club member, Austin, who I know does some professional, videography and photography for outdoors things. The tournament director and our league manager, Josh, is also a very talented photographer and outdoor photographer. And so I think there's a really unique opportunity to see and be able to kind of see what one of these team tournaments looks like. And I honestly can't say I've ever seen that documented before, ever. Maybe I'm off on that, but so there's a really cool opportunity, I think, where we can actually get some inside look and some cool photographs, maybe even some video, and maybe we can get it coordinated, some videos and interviews with some of the guys. So I think it's a cool opportunity for everybody in the whole sport, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Do you guys know if how are you going to be able to communicate in the water there? I know there's really spotty cell signals. I don't know if cell phones even work out there most of the day.
It does okay if you have Verizon. Yeah. AT&T can be a little bit spotty. And I know that in a normal non-team event, like the national KBF rule book has implemented some anti-communication rules, very non-enforceable stipulations. Like fishermen are never going to say anything to each other 7 days before tournament or whatever. Not very enforceable, but I think for the team event, I assume it's expected. I assume it's part of the communications.
Yeah. All right,
not an
guys. Anything else you want to mention about this upcoming event? I'm excited to do an interview afterwards, a week or so down the road from the tournament, and see how things turned out.
If I disappear, then I probably didn't catch a limit both days. So you know what happened. I can't be taking that heat.
Would that be a voluntary disappearance, or would it?
100%.
That's a good one.
This is
Guys,
pretty cool.
I know you guys have all been on the podcast numerous times. I appreciate all your support to help this little project move forward. Gradually getting a little better on what we're doing, polishing things up a little bit, and trying to represent the club best way we can. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.